It is the second day of a heat dome over Monmouth County. The pavement on Broad Street is shimmering. The bay smells like low tide and warm seaweed. The old window unit in your grandmother's bedroom is wheezing through its second decade of summer service. And somewhere down the block, an elderly neighbor you wave to every morning has not stepped outside today. Not for the mail, not for the trash, not for the small dog she usually walks at 7 a.m. Nobody has called her. Nobody has knocked. And the heat index is 103. This is Heart of the Shore. I am bringing this to you from Love of Humanity, a small Monmouth County 501c3 focused on family-facing community education. We don't deliver services. We teach you how to read your town, prepare your household, and look out for the people around you. And today, we are talking about heat. Not Weather Channel heat, the real kind. The kind that kills more Americans every year than hurricanes, tornadoes, and floods combined, but does it so quietly that nobody notices until the obituaries print. Let me lay out the fear, because I want you to feel it for a minute before I give you the antidote. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, extreme heat is the leading cause of weather-related deaths in the United States. Not lightning, not flash floods, not tornadoes. Heat. And the people who die are almost never the ones you would expect. They are not hikers who got caught in the desert. They are people in their own apartments, in their own bedrooms, in the houses they have lived in for 40 years. The fan was on, the window was cracked. The body just could not get rid of heat fast enough. And by the time anyone realized something was wrong, it was already too late. This is not a rare event. It happens every summer in every county on the eastern seaboard in numbers that are climbing because the heat is climbing. And on the Jersey Shore specifically, we have three compounding factors. We have an aging population. Monmouth County's median age is well above the national average. We have a power grid that is dependable most of the year, but goes down in exactly the storm patterns that follow a heat dome. And we have a lot of housing stock built before the energy crisis, which means single-pane windows, dark roofs, and original wiring that cannot handle a modern central AC retrofit, which means a fan, an old window unit, and an open window, which works, until the temperature outside the window is higher than the temperature inside. So here is the pivot. The way out of heat danger is not bigger AC. It is not buying a fancy smart thermostat. It is a plan. And the plan has 3 layers, and any household in Monmouth can stand it up in about 30 minutes today, before the next dome rolls in. Layer 1 is your house. Layer 2 is your people. Layer 3 is your block. Let me walk through each one. Layer 1, your house. Open every window, every shade, every closet that has an exterior wall, and figure out where the cool zone is. Almost every house has one. It is usually a north-facing room with a window unit, or a basement that stays cool from the ground temperature, or a bathroom with tile that holds cold. Mark it on a piece of paper.
Tape that paper to the inside of your front door. That is the room your family retreats to if the central AC fails. Stock it. Put a small cooler in there with frozen water bottles, a battery-powered fan, a charged portable battery pack, and the medications anyone in your household takes daily. If you have a window unit anywhere in the house, label its breaker on the panel. Physically label it with a piece of tape and a Sharpie so that if the power flickers and resets, you know what to flip back on first. The CDC's Extreme Heat Prevention page lists hydration, light clothing, and reducing physical activity as the basics. They are. But the CDC assumes you have a working cool space. Your job, today, is to make sure you do. Layer 2, your people. Pull out your phone right now and find the contact for everyone in your household, plus the 3 people you most want to be checked on in a heat event. Your grandmother, your father, your single neighbor across the street who lost her husband 2 years ago, your kid's piano teacher who lives alone above the Italian deli. Pin those 4 or 5 contacts to the top of your favorites list. Send each of them a 1-sentence text right now that says, quote, "When the heat hits this summer, I am going to check on you every day. What is the best way to reach you?" End quote. Half of them will write back something kind, the other half will not respond, and you will know that the relationship needs you to lead. Either outcome is a win. Layer 3, your block. This is the one most families skip, and it is the one that saves lives. Walk outside, in normal weather, and look at the 4 houses closest to you, the ones you would hear if they yelled. Who lives in each one? Whose car is gone all week? Who has medical equipment in the front window? Who has a small kid in a stroller you see at sunset? You do not need to introduce yourself with a casserole. You just need to know. If you can know, then in a heat dome you can act. You can walk over. You can knock. You can ask if they need ice, a ride to the cooling center, a phone charge, a wellness check. That is what neighbor to neighbor means. It is not a movement. It is a 30-second walk and a knock on a door. Now, when the power goes out, and on the shore in a heat dome the power will go out, fans are not enough. I want to say that again because it is the single most missed piece of safety information about heat. A fan blowing hot air on a body that cannot sweat does not cool the body. It can actually accelerate heat illness. The National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health and the CDC are explicit on this. When ambient air temperature is above about 95 degrees Fahrenheit, fans without cooling are not protective. You need a cool space. That means you need to know, before the outage, where you will go. Your library. The Monmouth County Library System runs designated cooling centers during heat advisories. Your local community center, a relative's house with a generator, a hotel room if it comes to that. The plan is to move, not to wait.
Heat illness moves faster than most people expect. And the early signs, a headache, a sense of being weirdly tired, a clammy feeling that is not normal, are not always recognized until somebody is genuinely in trouble. If you see those signs in yourself or someone else, the CDC's protocol is straightforward. Get to a cool place. Loosen clothing. Sip cool water if you are conscious. Apply cool, wet cloths to the wrists, neck, forehead. If symptoms include confusion, high body temperature above 103, a rapid pulse, hot and dry skin without sweating or fainting, that is heat stroke. Call 911. While you wait, move the person to a cool place and apply cool, wet cloths. Do not give fluids if they are confused. That is the difference between heat exhaustion, which is uncomfortable, and heat stroke, which is a medical emergency. And here is the reframe. Climate change does not arrive as one big storm. It arrives as a slow shift in baseline temperatures, a slow rise in nighttime lows, and a slow accumulation of weeks where the body never quite gets to recover. The Jersey Shore has always had heat. We are not pretending otherwise. What is changing is how many days in a row the heat sticks. What is changing is how high the nighttime low stays. What is changing is how much we can ask of a fan and an open window and a body that is 75 years old and lives alone. The good news is that the resilience to all of this is not technology. It is relationship. It is knowing your neighbor's name. It is knowing where your cool space is. It is having a list of 3 or 4 people in your phone whose silence on a hot day means you make a call. Love of Humanity is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is climate-resilient food and energy for vulnerable families, delivered through education, not service provision. We publish guides, checklists, short reports, and short podcast episodes like this one, all designed to give a Monmouth household something useful in 15 minutes or less. If this work is valuable to you, you can support it at loveofhumanity.charity or directly through our Stripe link in the show notes. If you run a Monmouth family-facing business and want to co-brand a free heat safety guide for your customers, pediatric offices, salons, senior care, anyone, write to us at partnerships@donatetoloveofhumanity.com. That is the show. 3 layers. House, people, block. Mark your cool space. Pin your call list. Know your 4 closest neighbors. The dome is coming. The dome always comes. The families who do well in it are the ones who built the plan before they needed it. See you on the boards.